Warning, Avengers Doomsday leaks are now everywhere. And yes, some of them are very true. Welcome to Movie World Plus, the place where we talk movies. I'm Andy Signor, and I want to talk about Avengers Doomsday and the fact that the whole entire internet seems to want to just spoil this movie before we can even see it. Now, look, as someone who's reported, and technically I guess I have spoiled movies, I was the first one to reveal that all the three Spider-Men were going to appear in No Way Home. I didn't really want to put it out there, but then I was in a phase where I was like, well, this is going to get clicks. And I did. And then later, I think it was campy. I posted images and took it even later. Look, it's become the norm now to sort of spoil these movies before they're even out because people are so desperate for clips because movie commentary is hard to get reactions to now anymore. There's so much of it, and unless you have some drastic, crazy take or some exclusive that everybody needs to see, it's hard to get your attention online. So I want to talk about these leaks specifically. So I'm warning you all, yes, I am going to address the leaks. It's now gotten to the point where it's not just plot leaks and little text note apps. They're now releasing footage and photos. What the heck's going on, Marvel? How did you let this happen? I do have a theory, but in order to talk about my theory, I do have to spoil some Doomsday stuff. So you've been warned. Let me get into it. But if you don't want any spoiler warnings or predictions as to where I think things are going to go with Secret Wars, you might want to dip out now. But let's get into it. So Avengers Doomsday, if you've not yet seen these reports, some of you just can't resist. You want it spoiled, and you probably already did. Yes, the rumors are true. The movie opens with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man fighting Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Now, in a way, this is kind of a brilliant way to start a movie about incursions of different universes colliding. The film sort of starts, from what I've been told, and I knew this for a while, that the film starts with Deadpool and Wolverine showing up with a device to basically end Tobey Maguire's universe, because if they don't, then theirs is going to be destroyed. And so you have sort of the Sony universe with Tobey Maguire. You have the Fox universe with Wolverine. And they're sort of starting right out the gate to show you, nothing's off limits here. Now everything's coming to a head. And to be honest, it is a kind of a cool thing if you are a fan of all these films for the past 20 something years. As a, movie that's going to be a standalone film, clearly Doomsday is not one. Marvel's already released it. You got to watch 15 things prior to really fully grasp and understand what's going on with Doomsday. Does that mean everybody who sees it will see all those things? No. But it is starting to make me think this is like season 6 of a show that is starting to show some wear. I can't deny the fact that Doomsday and all the sort of homework that comes with it, as a fan of these things, it's starting to feel a little chorey, if I'm being honest. That said, I'll be there day one, of course. I'm very fascinated to see how this is all going to play, and I'm hoping I'm wrong and it's really visceral and awesome and great. But based on the plot leaks, we're just looking at another maybe slightly more intense Infinity War that, if you know the comics, you should know where this is going. And it's all a bunch of fan service, nostalgia, stuff like that. And I sort of set myself as being ultimately already disappointed in it all. But I'm here to say we should still be excited, because if you are a fan of Civil War and the action figures fighting and Endgame where they all show up and they fight, this really is the opportunity where literally everybody's going to come out and fight. Now, that's either good if you're for certain Marvel fans, and it's bad for other Marvel fans. This is just toys smashing onto each other. Let's be prepared. That's what these movies are going to be. The toys smashing against each other. And as someone who grew up on these toys, I am excited. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be some fun stuff in seeing this stuff happen, especially seeing, the idea of, I don't like that Ryan's in the middle of it. And my theory is I think Ryan is one of the ones who leaked this because he's getting such bad press right now. He needs some wins, and showing him next to Tobey sort of attempts to show him as, yep, see, he's still getting the good. Hugh Jackman versus Tobey. Now that's something I'm excited to see. I do think that could be kind of fun. And yes, reports are that Magneto's also there. That's sort of the X-Men world shutting off Tobey's world in order to keep their world alive. And the trailer kind of confirms all this. As you see Dr. Doom coming in and everything else, you can see sort of this light coming, implying that, they're watching Tobey's world explode outside their window, as I'm trying to find the right specific parts of this. But as the trailer sort of reveals all that, yeah, that's in theory what's going to happen here. And then the X-Men clearly are out there trying to defend their universe. And you can only imagine when the Avengers stumble upon the X-Men universe, who, you know, they're not going to trust each other. They're going to want to fight for their own universes. And this whole movie becomes about Doom pitting all these people against each other. Now, in the comics, Doom is doing this as sort of a good guy. So there's a part of me that suspects that this is going to be the sort of his play in the beginning of trying to get everybody on board to think that Doom's doing the right thing, ultimately revealing, well, no, that wasn't actually his goal, because yes, Doom is a villain. It's important we talk about Doom too, because I've seen a lot of threads out there like, is he really this powerful? Is he really so powerful that he can literally take one finger and stop Thor? Like, when I see this shot and I see it happening and he literally stops with two fingers, there is a little bit of me that's like, really? Come on. He's just going to show up and stop him with two fingers and make Thor explode? It is pretty wild to think. But yes, the comics do make it clear Doom is that good. Doom takes together the brilliance of Tony Stark, of Reed Richards, the tech of Tony Stark, the brilliance of Reed Richards, and the magic of Doctor Strange, and then puts it all in, you know, and adding a Batman level to it where he's that smart and sort of incorporating it all. And yes, he can make himself that intense. My problem is the film sort of alludes at this back history between Reed and Doom. And I'm just like, why didn't we get this in the Fantastic Four movie? Where literally Reed's like screaming at him, Victor, what have you done? And it's like, they really have that kind of previous history, and we couldn't have established that a little bit more in First Steps? It almost feels like Marvel didn't have that plan yet when they were doing Fantastic Four, right? It does feel in a way that a lot of this is being sort of thrown together because they need to, because Marvel isn't doing as well as it used to do, and they need a big, shiny, Disney needs a big, shiny billion-dollar movie again to make Avengers seem worthwhile. And I'll be honest, the fan in me, while it's excited, I'm also like, really? We're bringing back Minion, Gambit, Channing Tatum? Like, it kind of worked in Deadpool Wolverine, I'm not going to lie. It was like, all right, he's cool. It's kind of cool, but it's still kind of funny. But now he's like part of the team. And I guess that does make sense, because if you remember Deadpool Wolverine, he sort of sees an opportunity, it glows, and he sort of sees a way to get out. So I can only imagine that he's getting out because, you know, he got that, and now he's been with the new X-Men for a little while, and that's all happening, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, remember, Logan's dead. So it does kind of make sense, I guess. But anyway, my point is, like, are people going to be upset when they see that Spider-Man and Wolverine potentially, their universe explodes in the beginning of the movie? Is that setting interesting stakes, or is that making it like, whoa, what? They're done? Two of our best all-time GOATs are gone? We got to remember what's coming, right? Because if you know Secret Wars, this is why I'm getting a little bit more excited, because yes, it's a lot of action figures smashing against each other, but if you know the story of Secret Wars, which I'll give you sort of the synopsis version as it's said here, the whole point of it is that, yes, all these incursions happen, all the Earths sort of have these collisions, and sort of the final two face off. And then at the end, yeah, Doctor Doom then takes over. Doctor Doom will likely, I imagine, win, hence Doomsday. Doctor Doom's going to ultimately win, like Thanos did at the end of Infinity War. Expect a downer of an ending when Doomsday is over. Keying up Secret Worlds, which then creates, if you don't know what Secret Worlds is about, is Emperor God Doom, or sorry, God Emperor Doom, now has taken these destroyed multiverses and create what the comics called Battleworld, a patchwork planet stitched together from doomed realities. So what that means is then he puts himself as the ruler of the domain, and then, you know, the whole sort of story is the people that are left that awaken later, they have to sort of create a rebellion against Doom's fake reality, and of course try to bring back the way things were. But this gives an opportunity that did get me a little excited. Now, again, I think some people will say the movie's bad, but for fans, this could be the ultimate fan service, because think about it. Not only is Battleworld an opportunity, and probably the only opportunity Marvel has in bringing back Tobey and Wolverine to be almost the leaders in Secret Wars, even though they seemingly died in the movie, they can also bring back the original Avengers. It actually allows them to bring back Tony Stark and even Natasha, Black Widow, and give us the original core Avenger team one last time. Battleworld is the kind of only comic excuse that allows them to really play with the whole idea of nobody's really dead. Now, I think at the end of that movie, they have to acknowledge they can't come into the next world if they win, right? They're going to have another goodbye. But honestly, Battleworld and in Secret Wars is that epic where it can bring back everybody for one final real amazing showdown. And so in a weird way, this feels like, yes, a sequel to Endgame in that we get to not only see all the MCU, but this becomes the sort of finale to all the Marvel superhero movies of the past, all the things we sort of grew up on and watched. This is the opportunity for the Russos to really give us that sort of wow cinema experience where we're cheering and having those moments of things we wanted to see. And I am excited for that as a fan, even though a lot of it is spoiled, even though a lot of these cameos I suspect are going to be there. I think they'll still be able to eke out a few more. And now, the possibilities are endless. If they could talk everybody into coming back, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is back, right? He's in that mask for half the movie. Part of that deal was probably for him to come back as Iron Man one last time in Secret Wars. It also can help justify why Victor Von Doom is Robert Downey Jr. and having sort of the mask come off and the face reveal of Iron Man versus Dr. Doom at the very end of Secret Worlds does make the hairs on my arm go up as a nerd, because I'm like, and then you get Natasha show up and you get everybody in that weird sort of this fake reality Battleworld setting. Anything's game. You could have Tom Cruise, Iron Man show up. You could have everything that we've always sort of dreamed as fans could happen in this Battleworld setup. So while I'm annoyed at all the leaks, it's inevitable in the world we sadly live in that, yeah, sorry guys, we know it's coming. But even though I know it's coming, I still want to see it. I still am like, that's going to be kind of sick watching Tobey Maguire fight Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. Like, as a fan, we've always wanted that team up, and I hope it delivers. Hope the action of the scene delivers, because those are going to be kind of moments that we're like in the theater watching with the crowd gasping and rooting and hollering. It's still going to be awesome. Even though it may not be a surprise to us when we see it, I still do think Avengers, Marvel, Kevin Feige, Russo brothers, they're clearly relying on those last sort of ditch effort fan moments that we never fully properly got. And here is their moment to try to really shove them down our throat and like, well, here it is. You didn't think this? Oh, wait, but we got this one too. And now here's all the 3 Spider-Man versus the original X-Men. And oh, here's whatever. Here's the original Avengers core team back together again, fighting against Doom, whatever. All those imagines you can think of. This is the opportunity for them to do it. So from a movie standpoint, it's probably pretty bad and dumb because it's all relying on our nostalgia and characters we've already seen and loved. Somebody who's watching this movie for the first time won't be as invested or as hooked as us fans. So in that way, I got to say it's kind of a fail, right? But there are a lot of fans, and I do think a lot of people are going to have fun watching the fans geek out, just as they did with Endgame, which is one of the biggest movies of all time. And now with Spider-Man, with Punisher and Hulk coming in, clearly that's what people want. So Disney, Marvel, they're clearly betting on, all right, let's dump the whole toy box on the floor. Here it comes, and let's tease it. We're going to show you. We're not going to tell you it's coming, even though it's not leaked. But this is how it starts. Oh my God, Tobey and Wolverine are dead already? What? And then get ready, because even though they're dead, they're likely coming back to lead Secret Wars. And if they're not, well, my God, Russo brothers, you better change gears immediately and fix that ASAP. Because if I'm wrong on that, you're really making a mistake. The only way Secret Wars works is if they do fully embrace, I think, this fan service nostalgia and give us everything we've ever wanted ×2 to really show us that unreal sort of fan expectation. Will that serve the fans? Absolutely. Will that serve the basic movie-going public? We shall see. What do you guys think about it all? Are you mad by these spoilers? The rest of the plot of, which I'm not going to talk about, it's out there. You can read some of it. And some of it could be changed, to be fair. But it's going to be pretty intense and dark. I do think people are going to be surprised by Doomsday and what's actually happening in there. I am still worried about it being too many characters. This is clearly a movie that relies on you enjoying seeing the toys run around together. If you're going in looking for sort of an amazing new standalone reboot of the Marvel and Avengers, this is not it. This is a continuation of all the other stuff previous. So what do you think? Are you mad? Are you excited when you see these leaks? Does it make you go, oh, man, I should? Does the Ryan Reynolds of it bug you? Because it does bug me. I'm over him. I'm so disappointed in him, but also I'm just over his shtick. What do you think? Does seeing this and knowing this now ruin the experience for you? Or can you, knowing the comics and sort of expecting this is probably going to happen, I knew the Spider-Men were coming and I still enjoyed seeing it actually happen in No Way Home. Does this make it worse or better? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you haven't already. This is Movie World, where we talk movies. I'd love to talk movies more. So if you want me to do, watch the videos, help me out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, what your theories are. What's your favorite point of this movie you think it's going to be? What are your expectations? Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming your way here on Movie World Plus.